Chapter 1, The Hero and the Princess.
You're on a path in the woods, and at the end of that path is a cabin. And in the bed you're here to slay her. If you don't, it will be the end of the world.
Any new conversation options? I want to see what happens if I say forget it, I'm not doing this.
Are you serious? No, you have to do it.
Oh, that was the only reply I get, okay. I wonder what happens if I refuse one time after another. I'm gonna silently continue to the cabin.
You make your way up the short path. We're not going to go through with this, right? She's a princess. We're supposed to save princesses, not ignore him. He doesn't know what he's talking about.
Proceed into the cabin.
The interior of the cabin is almost entirely bare. The air is stale and musty, and the floor and walls are painted in a fine layer of dust. The only furniture of note is a plain wooden table. Perched on that table is a pristine blade. The blade is your implement. You'll need it if you want to do this right.
Maybe I don't want to do it right.
The door to the bed, her voice softly carried.
Hello? Is someone there?
It's hypnotizing. It's the kind of voice you only have to hear once to remember it for the rest of your life. Don't let it fool you. It's all part of the manipulation. You're playing a dangerous game by coming here unarmed.
Here to save you.
How many times do I have to tell you how dangerous letting her out of here would be before it finally sinks in?
I know.
Wait, really? You're here to rescue me? I was starting to think I'd be stuck down here forever. Come downstairs. I want to see the face of my rescuer.
You walk down the stairs and lock eyes with the princess. There's a heavy chain around her wrist, binding her to the far wall of the basement.
She looks so helpless, but we kind of know that is not the whole truth.
She's beautiful. How could someone like this be a threat to anyone? I am begging you to stay focused. There's a lot riding on you here.
Hi. I can't believe you're here. I've been waiting for something like this to happen forever. I hope you brought something to deal with these chains.
Don't do it. If she gets out of those chains, we're all one step closer to the end.
Okay, this is a new... I think this is a new conversation or new sentence that the narrator gives us. Hold on, let's talk a bit first. I wonder if she gives us different answers this time if we talk a bit first.
Okay.
What's your name? This we read. I'm gonna choose this one. I can't believe they've been keeping you down here like this. I'm getting you out of here.
You're only making this more difficult.
I'm gonna free her.
Thank you. Thank you.
And maybe that will be the end of me.
You're making a huge mistake.
That's what you keep telling me.
No, you're doing the right thing.
You are changing your mind a lot, but so am I.
You walk up to the chains binding the princess to the wall and give them a tug. They're large and heavy, far too solid for you to even imagine trying to break them apart.
I'm guessing you don't have the key?
Nope.
Maybe it's somewhere upstairs. Doubtful. Whoever locked the princess away down here intended for her to never see the light of day. They wouldn't have just left the key to her chains somewhere in the cabin.
I'm trying to stop and imagine what we have witnessed so far. We see her. She is the princess, at least, well, she does have different forms, but these are the elements that always happen during each run we do. I'm gonna call these runs because I don't know how else to describe them. And what I'm talking about is us coming to this cabin and this whole circle. I don't remember which one of the voices said it, that all of these parts are circles or something along those lines, but imagine this situation so that we are outside ourselves. We see her now, but what we have seen in the mirror is some sort of creature who has feathers, who has claws, who sees themselves as this feathered and clawed thing, but when we look at the mirror, what we see is a withered version of that creature. Usually, with stories like this, the hero's job is to save the princess from some kind of monster. We have had our troubles, our views have clashed with the narrator, but we have seen ourselves in the mirror. Well, two versions of ourselves. We see what we see when we reach towards the mirror, and we still can see the kind of the flesh and the details that we have on our whatever the frick claws we do have in this form. But when we see ourselves in the mirror, we do not look the same. We look like something that once was a monster but has withered. I wonder if that has something to do with passing of the time. Are all the runs different versions of the same story? I'm just trying to find words for this. I'm trying to understand it, and forgive me, I know this is not my native language, but I'm trying to find words for what I'm experiencing here. The entire thing, this game is so fascinating, and I already have such a strong feeling that when this is gonna end, I'm gonna remember this for a long, long time. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. Let's continue our story. And if there isn't a key, do you have any other ideas? And this one was that we were gonna go check upstairs. I wanna see my face in the mirror again.
Okay, I'll be here.
If I can.
Good luck.
But they probably won't let me leave. You attempt to make your way out of the basement, but the door at the top of the stairs slams shut. You hear the click of a lock sliding into place. Is someone else here?
I'm gonna repeat this.
You make your way to the bottom of the stairs. This would have been so much easier if you'd just taken the blade like you were supposed to.
Maybe, but I want to see what happens. Like again, if you look at this room, it's so much bigger than what it was. I wonder if we made wrong decisions because now the chains are big again. But we'll see.
Easier for whom? Easier for everyone. Look at the mess you're in.
I heard the door slam. They locked you down here too, didn't they?
Yeah.
There's a slight panic rising in the princess's voice.
If I could just get out of these chains, I know we could force our way out of here together.
Let's see what happens this time.
She barely hesitates before raising as she rips her flesh from her bone. It's the blade from upstairs. You're not sure how it made its way down here, but if there's a time to strike, it's now. Or we could use it to free her. You won't like what happens if you do that.
I'm gonna save the princess.
Fine. Against your better judgment, you cut into her. The blade is sharp, and it takes little effort to. Her limb falls to the ground, and the heavy chains follow suit.
Okay, let's see what happens this time. I just want us to have a happy ending. I want it so bad.
She didn't so much as utter a sound through the whole ordeal. No, she didn't. She smiles softly as her gaze meets yours, blood from her wounded arm dripping rhythmically to the ground. How is she still smiling after everything? It's like she isn't even bothered by what just happened.
Thank you. Now let's get out of here.
Let's hope that this time we are actually able to do that. Approach the locked door. Oh no.
No, we won't have any of that. The stakes are too high. You can't just let her escape into the world.
Look at our cursor.
No, I can't just let her escape into the world.
Well, freak you. I hate that our mouse cursor looks like this again.
As the princess approaches the bottom stair, your body steps forward and raises the blade. Wait, this isn't fair. You can't just do that. Watch me.
What are you doing?
It's taking hold of me. I wonder what happens if we would choose slay the princess, but I don't want to. I want to warn her, even if this would be frustrating for you to watch because we've gone through these routes before. I just want to see if it changes. Because for me, this is the very first time I experience this game and see what happens. I would like to have a happy ending if I only can. If that is a possibility, we'll see.
Stop that.
Something's come over you, hasn't it? You know you don't have to do this, right?
Your body lunges forward, the blade held low, ready to sink into her heart. But the princess dodges, stumbling back against the wall before the blade has a chance to connect.
Look at her hand, it's not yet withered. It does not look the same as it did when we looked ourselves from the mirror. This hand still has muscles and relatively good looking nails and feathers and whatever scales these are. This looks still like a hand of something that is alive.
Stop it. Stop trying to resist me. I'm trying to get you out of here alive.
Play the princess. And it shows me I cannot choose resist. I cannot choose it. No, I'm gonna choose the last option. I have to slay her. Damn.
Thank you.
I don't want to. I'm sorry.
There's no getting through to you right now, is there?
No. You do what you gotta do.
Betrayal of will is still a betrayal. You'll regret thinking of me as a helpless damsel.
She pounces on you with the same animal ferocity she used to tear through her arm.
Damn.
But you have a weapon. You raise the blade, digging it under her ribs, aiming directly for the heart.
Yo, she does look like an animal in this. In all of these images, her hand looks a bit similar like ours. Her nails almost look as curved as our nails.
It's not enough to stop her. You feel her claws in your throat, then her teeth, somehow sharp enough to pull apart your flesh and sinew with ease. You collapse to the floor, your body unresponsive as your blood pools on the ground beneath you. She stares down at your ravaged form, eyes shining in the darkness, dress stained in red as her blood and yours both seep into the fabric.
This is so amazing. I'm so excited. I love these unexpected turns that this story gives us.
If we're lucky, the wound you managed to inflict will be enough to at least delay her escape from this place. If we're very lucky, it will kill her before she can reach the outside world. It can't just end like this, right?
Oh yes, it can.
As much as I'd prefer for things to have gone differently, I can't deny the reality of what's happened. I'm sorry, but it's over. Everything goes dark, and you die.
Awesome! Let's continue. Chapter 2. The Witch.
You're on a path in the woods, and at the end of that path is a cabin. And in the basement of that cabin is a princess. You're here to slay her. If you don't, it will be the end of the world.
What, is she a witch? If she's a witch, are we under some sort of spell? Isn't that the story? I once read this analysis about what girls want to be when they grow up, and two things that were mentioned were princesses and witches, and that was because both of those women have power. It's interesting. As a child who does not really have power in this society, who doesn't really have a say on things, many little girls dream of becoming a woman who actually holds power, who has power, whose word has weight. princess, witch, monster, hero, narrator, storyteller, a blade. Very traditional story elements. We also see very traditional elements of place. A repeating pattern, repeating story, but story witnessed from all these different angles. Oh my lordy, I love it. I promise I will continue playing this game, but I need to go on my occasional rants, okay? This is just gonna happen. What happens if I say she's going to kill me again?
Again? People don't die twice. You haven't even met the princess, and I hardly think she'd be capable of killing someone as skilled and courageous as yourself.
Oh, now we are skilled and courageous, even though a couple runs ago you told us that we were infuriating and dumb and...
If he doesn't remember what happened, then maybe it's best to keep it that way.
Or he just pretends that he does not remember.
Brilliant. We need to keep our cards close to our chest, and I'm not sure we can trust him.
Oh, now we get voice of the opportunist.
You know I can hear you, right? It's going to be a lot harder than you think to keep secrets from me. Did I say I'm not sure we can trust him? Slip of the tongue, bit of the old brain fog. I meant to say that we should probably head over to the cabin and slay that princess. We already know we can't trust her, so let's get on with the show.
Let's get on with the show indeed. I want to see the reply to this one as well, now that we have experienced all that we have experienced.
Those are two very different questions, but fine, I'll indulge you if that's what it takes to get you moving. Let's say for a moment that this really is the second time you've met me, or at least a version of me.
A version of you? What, so there would be different versions of the narrator? Some of them are cruel, some of them are... Oh, my head cannot take this, okay?
You died last time, which probably only happened because you didn't listen to me. We were just weighing our options in a morally ambiguous situation. You can't blame us for weighing our options. I can if you failed to slay the princess, which you apparently did. So great, congratulations. You've been given another chance to actually do this right.
Damn.
And I believe your other question was something along the lines of, oh, what's the point of doing anything? If you're asking that, it sounds to me like you're making the rather dangerous assumption that your actions last time around didn't have any consequences. What do you mean? Of course there weren't any consequences. We were killed by the princess and now everyone's right back where they started. That sounds pretty consequence-free to me. Yes, but in this purely hypothetical scenario, that begs the question of how you got back here. Did time simply rewind itself, or were you instead transported to a different world entirely? If it's the latter, what do you think happened after you died? Do you think the people there lived happily ever after? Or do you think that the princess, left unhindered, brought about the end to everyone and everything just like I told you she would? That's a very good point. This princess character seems like a lot of trouble, and if you think about it, actually slaying her probably breaks us out of this cycle, right? We don't want to be stuck here forever, do we? You're laying it on a little thick, aren't you? Laying it on a little thick? What are you talking about? I'm sharing my honest opinions. What matters is that almost everyone seems to be on the same page. So whenever you're ready, you can stop dawdling, get to the cabin, and save the world.
Whose world and what are we saving it for? So far we haven't seen anyone else except all of us. Let's talk about this. Princess, proceed to the cabin, turn around. Let's talk about this princess.
Just be quick about it.
She killed me last time around. How can I make sure that doesn't happen again? She killed me by ripping me to pieces. Don't get me wrong, I hated it, but how can someone like that end the world? To quote you from last time around, she's just a princess. Why was she able to rip me apart with her bare hands? Good question. Who locked her in that basement? What is this place? Never mind. Who locked her in that basement? What is this place?
People locked her in that basement, and I told you what this place is. It's a path in the woods. Don't overcomplicate things.
Damn right, my other name is overcomplicating things. Wait, we have new conversation option. If people locked her away, then why couldn't they slay her? Why is this falling on me? Let's ask this as well.
Look, I'm not supposed to say this, but it's because
You're
you're
special.
special. You're the only person capable of doing this. Call it a prophecy, if that helps, but it's just the way things are. Oh, I didn't know we were special.
Don't be so easily manipulated, voice of the hero. Come on now.
Of course you're special. Why else would you be here?
This is how I make you do my bidding. I tell you that you're special.
Good point. That really explains almost everything. I'm not so sure about that. You know, you're right, but it explains almost everything.
You're being cagey. What aren't you telling me? Let's go.
I've told you everything you need to know. Going into more detail would just overcomplicate an otherwise very simple situation and make your job more difficult. If you want us to stand a chance against her, we need to be armed with information. What is she really capable of? How are we supposed to stop her? Not to sound like a broken record, but the less you know about her, the better things will go for all of us. I know it sounds like I'm hiding something, but you're just going to have to take me at my word.
You are definitely hiding something.
I don't think either of you really need to press the man on this. He wants us to slay the princess, so why would he have anything to hide? He seems like a nice guy to me.
And you know he listens to your every word, so that's why you stopped being openly suspicious of him, and that's why you're telling that he seems like a nice guy.
I appreciate the vote of confidence, but you should really stop wasting time chatting amongst yourselves in the woods. So if we could move this along?
This is what people do on a regular basis, at least some of us. We go to the woods and we talk to ourselves. This is what I do on a regular basis. I go into the woods to think. Let's ask this. To quote you from last time around, she's just a princess. Why was she able to rip me apart with her bare hands?
She is just a princess. Whatever you think happened to you last time, just get it out of your head before you get to the cabin and you'll be fine.
Just don't think about it. It's gonna be fine. I'm gonna ask this conversation option just before we go. She killed me last time around. How can I make sure that doesn't happen again?
Like I said, if she killed you, it was probably because you didn't listen to me. Don't talk to her, don't trust her, just go in, do your job, and save the world.
That's all.
Right, now if you don't mind, the whole world is waiting with bated breath for you to save it from ruin.
Each time we just don't blindly do what the narrator tells us to do, the narrator gets snarky.
A warning. Before you go in, she will lie. Don't worry, I think we've taken that lesson to heart at this point. You can trust us to get the job done.
Indeed. Proceed into the cabin. I'm gonna skip those parts of conversation that we already have heard many times, but I try to pay close attention in order to not skip parts that we have not heard before. I don't want to miss any part of this story.
The interior of the cabin is a mess of twisted roots. The walls a chaotic weave of knotted wood that, almost as if by accident, just happened to resemble a room. The floor is damp and earthy, and the only furniture of note is a slab of mud in the shape of a shelf, with a pristine blade perched on its edge.
So last time this looked like a castle when it drastically changed, and now it looks like some sort of weird rooted cottage. 3 elements remain: the mirror, the door, and the blade. We can see outside from the windows though, to both sides, and it is always night when we come here. And they called the place the Long Quiet?
The blade is your implement. You'll need it if you want to do this right.
What happens if I choose this option? But I really want to see the mirror. Will this take the mirror away? I'm gonna choose this option. I don't want the mirror to disappear. What if it disappears? I need to see what's in the mirror.
You walk up to the wall next to the basement door. It's a wall. There isn't much to see here. What are you talking about? This isn't a wall. It's a mirror.
Wipe the mirror clean.
You reach forward and rub your hand against the cabin wall. I hope you know how ridiculous you look right now.
No, we do not look at all ridiculous. We see what version of ourselves is wiping the grime away from the mirror. That can be important later.
Very different.
This whole cabin is different than last time.
Maybe that's because you haven't actually been here. I hope this means you'll finally drop that ridiculous past life nonsense. You haven't died, and you certainly haven't been killed by the princess. So focus up. A lot's riding on this.
Take the blade, enter the basement. I think I'm gonna take the blade this time. Just because for a couple runs I haven't taken the blade.
You take the blade from the shelf. It would be difficult to slay the princess and save the world without a weapon. Well, if we're grabbing a weapon, we should probably keep it hidden behind our backs. She doesn't have to know we have it.
If it's magical or something, she might be able to feel it anyway.
That's not actually a bad idea.
Let's enter the basement.
The door to the basement creaks open,
Wow.
revealing a staircase dug into the muddy earth below. The ceiling is thick with roots that hang like locks of tangled hair.
I have a feeling we're not gonna get a happy ending. God damn it.
The weak starlight from the cabin windows behind you can barely penetrate the gloom here, only illuminating the edges of an opening below. It shines in the darkness like some kind of massive maw waiting to swallow you up into the earth. The air smells of dirt and copper. It's thick and wet, as if your lungs are being coated in mud with each intake of breath. If the princess lives here, slaying her would probably be doing her a favor.
That's what you keep saying, and our cursor is a hand with a blade.
Her voice skitters up from below.
Something nasty finds itself on my stairs. Come on down. Don't be scared. I probably won't bite.
I think you will. Let's go. I'm not nasty. Hello? Say nothing. Let's say hello.
I recognize that voice as easily as I recognized your nervous little footsteps coming up the path. I know who you are, and I remember what you've done.
See? She knows us. Is this enough for you to believe what we've been saying? Maybe, but you shouldn't let that cloud your judgment. She's just a princess. As long as you remember that and remain focused, slaying her will be easy. She seems friendly enough. Maybe we can talk our way out of this whole situation. You can't. Unless you slay her right away, she's going to break free and end the world. There's no reasoning with what she is.
If you would be able to explain to us what she is, since you seem to know so much about the situation, then maybe we would have easier time doing our task.
Look, I'm just throwing ideas out there. I like to think out loud. I'm the kind of guy who likes a discussion. Don't we want to hear what everyone has to say before making any big decisions?
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to hear what everyone has to say? Or do you just want to hear yourself talk? You need to stop lingering. Your task is to slay the princess, not endlessly debate about what to do with the princess.
I'll debate as long as I want.
Fine, fine. You're the boss. Thank you.
Oh,
You descend the basement steps, entering the dark room below.
she looks like a creature, like an animal, chained to this, whatever this is, chamber made of roots. I wonder where the light comes from. Maybe somewhere above or something?
You can just make out the shape of the princess in the gloom. She's huddled against the far wall, her eyes bright and glaring from amid the thick roots.
And there you are, one hand tucked away behind your back, gripping that sharp, sharp blade, no doubt.
That's no fair. How would she know that?
So, we've dropped the pretenses.
This is totally a wrong place to say that she kind of looks like a furry, and now I'm gonna stop saying anything.
Good.
And now I'm trying to figure out, like, what is her persona.
She's acting like she already knows you. I guess what you said back in the woods really was true. That's pretty sharp. How'd you figure that one out? Call it deductive reasoning. Well, you seem to be great at it. So, you really don't remember us, do you? No, I don't. But you and the princess clearly have a shared reality, even if I'm not a part of it. I won't waste time fighting you on something that's clearly true. You fought us on it back in the woods. That was when the only perspectives we had were yours and mine. I'm just glad we could put all this behind us. Is it all behind us?
I doubt that.
Just focus on the task at hand. I don't care if you've been here before, and I don't care if you think you'll go somewhere else after this. My world is on the line right now, so I'd appreciate it if you would take this seriously and slay her.
Your life is on the line right now.
Let's chat her up a bit first. Maybe we can find a middle ground where everyone's happy. Don't talk to her. You're just going to make things more difficult than they have to be.
Well, I seem to remember you having a tongue.
We maybe once had, yeah. If we have feathers and she has fur, maybe this is just a furry love story. Oh god, no. I'm sorry about last time. Look, I made a mistake. We all make mistakes, right? I'm sure you made mistakes. Don't worry, the blade isn't for you. Or not for killing you. We've got to get out somehow, right? I get the sense that you're not happy with me. I died last time, you didn't. If anyone here shouldn't be trusted, it's you. That's an interesting option. Look, I know. Things got messy last time, but I think there's something bigger than both of us at work. We should team up. Can't you get out of those on your own? Those chains didn't stop you last time. Why do I have a nagging feeling you're going to stab me in the back if I help you out of here? I don't want to hurt you, but clearly there's some broken trust. Take this as a gesture of my goodwill. Give her the blade. I don't trust you, not enough to free you, and definitely not enough to get close to you. I'm leaving. Bye. Leave her in the basement. I don't think that's an option. I don't think either of them let me leave the basement. Or live. I like to be straightforward with my intentions. I didn't care for how you treated me last time, and I think you might be a danger to the world. I'm going to attack you now. Oh, I respect this. This is very straightforward. Or slay the princess. I need to ask this question. Can't you get out of those on your own? Those chains didn't stop you last time.
Oh, of course. They're nothing to me.
The princess grins as the chains fall from her wrist. She could have gotten out of those the whole time. That sneaky little... A woman after my own heart, really. She knows how to hold her cards close to her chest. This is why she can't just be abandoned here. If left to her own devices, she'll find a way out. Now stop her.
Frick it, I'm gonna give her the blade. I don't want to kill anyone. If she's gonna kill us, then I guess this is over. I would like to leave with the princess.
You can't be serious. Now, hold on. We should put this to a vote. The blade is one of our most valuable assets. We can't just give it to her. What if she uses it to kill us? I vote no. As do I. I, abstain? You abstain? She's going to kill us if we give it to her.
This isn't a democracy. We're giving her the blade. Give her the blade. Haha. Yeah, never mind. That was such a silly idea. I'm not going to give her the blade. She clearly hates us. Don't do it. I have also been wondering about the colors of text. Our options are white. Clearly they stand out better when they are white in a dark background, but whenever we are choosing an option, our text turns red. Whenever she's angry, her text is red. I wonder if that has a meaning as well. But no, this isn't a democracy. We're giving her the blade.
You're going to get everyone killed. You know that, right? But of course you do. You toss the blade at the princess's feet. She eyes it with suspicion before kneeling down to pick it up.
So she can hold it. Interesting.
I wouldn't have done that. Why did you?
She creeps forward, taking one cautious step at a time until you and she are face to face.
Lordy, lordy, I don't know what's gonna happen.
What do you think happens now?
You're probably gonna stab me or something. Okay, so what do you think is her persona? Is she like a cat or something with those ears and everything? What do I think happens now? That's up to you. It's why I gave you the blade I chose last time and I regret it. So now it's your time to choose. We're both scared and we're both hurting. If one of us doesn't make a change, we'll probably kill each other forever. Do you want that? I don't. We can be better than this. You're beautiful. I want to actually save you, and this feels like the only way to do it. If you're like someone I know, you're probably going to kill me. Remain silent. It would be interesting to see what happens if I choose remain silent option, but I'm gonna choose we're both scared and we're both hurting. If one of us doesn't make a change, we'll probably kill each other forever. Do you want that? I don't. We can be better than this.
Her shoulders tense and her eyes dart away.
This is another trick. You're trying to sow doubt, but it's not going to work on me.
She's in a fight or flight mode.
And then she buries the blade in your heart.
Okay. I'm slightly disappointed that this whole thing led to that. I mean, no regrets. She's clearly in some sort of feral state here, but I'm still disappointed.
What? No, come on, that's not right. I told you this is what she was going to do. Glee dances across her face as you fall to the ground.
I did it. I got you. You...
Yes, you got me.
The princess seems to tremble, her smile fading quickly, replaced with concern. Her nervous eyes brim with tears.
Why? Why did you let me do this?
But you don't have the strength to respond, nor do you have the time.
Hmm.
Everything goes dark, and you die.